Okay, I am at 65 South Main Street in Bellbrook, Ohio. We're doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that would be of concern to the buyer. Our access point is a little strange. It's looks like a clean out coming up through concrete. Right, what used to be the entrance to the crawl space, it's been concreted over. And so we're on the rear left of the house if you're facing the house from the front. And so it looks like a set of cellar doors. You open it up and it's just a clean out and what used to be the entrance to the crawl space or cellar or something. So you can see here, there is the doors and clean outs right there. So clean out is cast iron, and I'm sure it probably sweeps one way or the other. So looks like it's going out towards the rear. That means the inside is cast iron. Let's see if I can get this through there. There we go. I may have to run some water here to get, there we go. And so, looks like as soon as we get through that cast iron, it switches over to clay immediately. You can see right here. Maybe for a foot or two, and then looks like we're switching over into PVC. That's always good. A little bit of toilet paper there. We're going to have to run some water. So I'll push out. Looks like there's some debris buildup, and I don't know how long this house has been empty. Could just be that little bit of mold stuff that usually builds up on the bottom of PVC. When it kind of sits vacant for a while. A little bit of water there. I believe this goes all the way around the house. Looks like there's a clean out here. So I'm actually going to pause the video. I'm going to go in, turn some water on. I'm also going to locate this spot, see where this clean out is. I believe it's probably under this deck, but it would give another access if available. So I'm going to pause the video and get a locate. Alright, so I don't see any access to this, but you can see that there is should be a clean out right here above me, above the top, but I don't see any access to it. It's been buried. So we'll see if we can, I'll see if I can hit it with a probe when I'm done here, but it is out past the deck, so that's good. It goes out and around the deck. This is most likely a converted septic line, meaning there used to be a septic tank here in the rear. And when they ran sewer down Main Street, they just went ahead and pushed they just went ahead and connected on in the back and ran it around the house to tie into the main. So far, it's all PVC and the line looks really good. See with the water running, going under water a little bit. I'm trying to flush this line out with all the debris because it has been sitting empty. I'm going to try to get all this rinsed out of the line as we go. Can't be much, but that camera lens is only about a ½ inch off the bottom of the pipe, so it doesn't take much water, as you can see, for it to cover the lens, at least partially, especially when you're pushing and with water running and adding to it. Looks like there's another, this would be another clean out, I believe. It's hard to tell because trying to get the camera lens clean. There we go. And it looks like there's another clean out right here. And so we'll stop on that one on the way back and check it out. But to get the, looks like we're dropping down, probably getting close to the main. You can see in the bottom left hand corner, that's the angle that the line is at, and it's going vertical. And a lot of times they do that to get out to the, get down to the level of the main before it gets in there, but it may also be just at the street if we're going under the road. The line is good. It's just see if we can make sure we can get this camera lens cleaned off. We should be getting close to a main here soon. We're 125 feet out, so if not, we will have to see if we can find one of these other clean outs and go from there. Yeah, looks like we're diving. This could be it right here. And there we are. We are at the main. So we're going to let this sit here for a minute. I'm going to check it and see where it is, just to show whether it's on the long side or the short side of the road. So I'm going to pause the video. Alright, it is on the long side, or the opposite side of the street from the house is where the main is, but it didn't make it all the way out, and so we're going to pull back and probably going to end up having to turn that water off so that we can take a look at some of this a little bit better, because it seems like I'm kind of hoping that this would clear off the camera, but apparently it's not going to. It's clear enough to see, but we'll pull back and get to a spot where kind of get the grease and stuff on the front. But the line is all PVC, which is surprising for the age of the house, but not necessarily if they just did a if the main itself is not very old, which seems to be the case. So, or they had just replaced the entire line. With it being cast iron at the clean out and then pretty much PVC the rest of the way out. It looks to me like maybe the septic tank used to be just outside of this thing, right off the back of the house, which would make sense. And then over the years, when they switched over, they just drove the tank hooked on right here at the back of the house and ran PVC all the way around to the outside. It is to the right side of the house if you're facing it. So it comes out kind of the rear left, goes out, and then turns and goes around the right side of the house. It goes around the deck. But the line looks really good. With it being PVC like this, it does obviously help. You can see some of the splash on there, but yeah. Okay, so here's what looks to be a clean out here right before it probably leaves the property, so we're going to pause the video. I'm going to mark this one also. Alright. Pulling back, that is marked. So I've marked both these with green flags. Neither one of them are visible from the surface. This one, the cap seems to be, I poked around with a probe, and the cap seems to be about a foot underneath the grass. I thought there was another clean out close to here. There we go, right there. Now that is actually not a clean out. That looks like that's a tap from the laundry room coming out the side of the house. And so we don't need to mark that. So far the line looks great. So if we need to, we'll go in and shut the water off just to let it drain down a little bit. But like I said, because it only takes, that camera lens is only about a ½ inch off the bottom of the pipe, so it doesn't take much to obscure the view a little bit. As long as we can still see above it, we're in good shape. See, like this right here, you can tell that's barely above it, and if we can get back far enough to see above it, that little distance, this is not a lot of water. So, and if the water wasn't on, it wouldn't be that high. You can see how it's flowing through. Yeah, see, and when you let it go for a minute, we just want to make sure it's not high enough that we can tell that it's flashing and it's no more than about a ½ inch of water while it's running, like which obviously we can see, and we can see far enough in front of the camera. There we go. So that was right at that turn, and we can see the turn. So luckily, even with the water flowing, we've only covered the camera for a short period of time, so we're able to see once we get back out of that section that we can see what's in front, so we can still inspect the line from that area. Just like that, you can obviously still see it just goes under long enough to flash underneath, but then we can see when the camera comes back out, we can see what's in front of us far enough down the pipe that we know there's no damage. There's the clean out that is already marked. See how much better this looks after running the water for a little bit to flush the line out after sitting empty. But yeah, see, there's some toilet paper or something that's still getting, I think that's a wet wipe or something that needs to be knocked loose. But that's why we always say, no matter what, not to use wet wipes or something, because they do not break down like toilet paper, and they, you know, in this case, that'll make its way down to the main, but that's why you don't want to use these things. They don't break down, so if they do get caught on something, they're not going to disintegrate. If it's toilet paper, it disintegrates down to nothing. And with the interior cast iron at this house, you do want to make sure that you're not using anything, you know, abnormal. You can see, like, this is the stuff from this is just the cast iron stuff that I knocked loose from the clean out. But the interior cast iron's a real short distance. It goes over to the bathroom, but we have no way of inspecting that interior line. It is cast iron, so like I mentioned, the big thing with cast iron is just that it's more susceptible to soft clogs, which is like excessive toilet paper, and of course the wet wipes, like I mentioned, you want to keep those out of there. It's just cast iron rusts. It's on the inside. The pipe's a lot rougher than any other material, kind of like sandpaper a little bit, so things can it's a lot easier for things to catch on them and cause a soft clog, which is like a toilet paper clog or something. It's easy to remove, but it's kind of like a clogged toilet. You get it in there and you may be able to remove it, but before you do, it could back up onto the floor or something. So I just always like to warn people to just use toilet paper. If you're going to use wet wipes, throw them in the trash. Don't throw them down the toilet. They're not good for your sewer lines. But the line in this case structurally looks great. There's no issues found from this clean out all the way out to the main. Everything was open and flowing as designed. And no defects noted. So that'll end the inspection at 65 South Main Street in Bellbrook, Ohio.